Oh, my name is Bob Jones. I am a former student and assistant director of Shakespeare Wine. My first year to do it was the summer of 2004 as a student, and I was a student again in the summer of 2005, and then in the summers of 2007 and 2008 and 2013, I was the assistant director. And in the meantime, I came back. I lived in Virginia, and then I came back to UT to work on my PhD. And then I served, I think, 7 times maybe at this point as the teaching assistant for the spring class of Shakespeare at Winedale. A word that springs to mind about my experience, and I think maybe others too, is reliance. I think that Shakespeare at Winedale presented a lot of challenges, and that being there, you learn to both rely on others and become someone who could be relied on. No one is good at everything at Shakespeare at Winedale. There's so many kind of things to do and tasks, and some people are good at volleyball but bad at sewing, or or vice versa, or have a lot of stage experience or no stage experience at all. But everybody brings their talents, their own unique skills, their own unique experiences, both to the plays and to all the time you spend out there on the projects you work on out there. In our summer, 2004, we built a buck basket for Falstaff with Mistress Ford and Mistress Page. So, you never know what you're going to have to do and what the plays are kind of going to require. And I think you learn to rely on a community there to get it all done. You have a common goal, and that's a very special thing, I think. One of my earliest memories, I guess, of Shakespeare at Winedale involves that reliance. We had a sort of monsoon beginning to the summer in 2004, where it just rained. The rain, it raineth every day, and it literally did. And this is kind of, I think the barn is better set up now to not retain water, but in that summer, the barn would just flood all the time. And, it wasn't the whole thing, but it was like the back area, the dressing rooms, the sort of discovery space area on the sides. Water would come in on the sides, and we would have to spring up. There'd be a storm coming in, and we'd spring up from lunch and yell, "Save the barn," and run, over to the barn and literally bail out the barn with single buckets, just tossing water out into the grass, where it would later come back, I think, with more rain. But we, carried sandbags and set them off, and, created sort of blockages for the water coming in. But that was at the beginning of the summer. It became a way that we all bonded. We all bonded over this unique, strange challenge of saving a flooding barn. And we sang songs and talked, and like we were sailors on a boat, and we were doing The Tempest that summer, so it was incredibly appropriate. But the barn had to rely on us because we were going to rely on it later. Those were memorable times. The impact on my own life of Shakespeare at Winedale is hard to put into words. I had never acted. I had acted a lot in middle school and high school, but never in a full-length Shakespeare play. I'd done student theater at UT as well, but never a full-length Shakespeare play. And the first summer doing Prospero and the Tempest was something, a very unique challenge, and something that I wasn't sure I'd ever get to be able to do this kind of work. I was born with a cleft lip and palate, which affected my speech back in the day. I won't say how long ago, but doctors were kind of unsure about if I'd be able to talk right or, speak right, and that hinder my intelligence in a new way. And lo and behold, 20 something years later, I'm, performing Shakespeare, and I've continued to do that in Virginia, where I got an MFA in Shakespeare and Performance. I've worked at the Black Forest Playhouse and the American Shakespeare Center up there. I've done Shakespearean theater in, Texas and Virginia and in different places, in Michigan as well. And now I also, as of this summer, own a doctorate in English, and that kind of all started that path. It's been a long and winding road, but that path really started at Shakespeare at Winedale, and I wish I had the doctoral diploma to kind of show here, do some prop comedy, but it's at home, it's safe, it is in a frame where I can't lose it or anything. So that is the effect, is what I do today. I'm on a sort of postdoctoral lectureship. I'm assistant professor of instruction at UT, and I'm teaching. I taught a Shakespeare course in the fall. I'm teaching a drama and performance class right now, which is coincidental because in 2004, the reason I did Shakespeare at Winedale was because I had been in James Loland's modern drama and performance class, and we had gone out to Winedale for a day and rehearsed the Cherry Orchard, which we were working on by Anton Chekhov, and it was like magical. It was like, this is a huge playground, and we can be outside, and we're doing plays outside, and the barn is so interesting, and these stairways are interesting, and there's so many entrances and exits, and I kind of fell in love with that playground, and that's now I'm teaching that course that kind of started a lot of this for me. So that is incredibly rewarding. Thanks, and donate to Shakespeare at Winedale.